Hello, everybody. It's Marty the JavaScript Party and my buddy Rhett. Oh, look at her exploring up there. Oh, no, you weren't. I thought you were going to go up there and explore. Oh, well. She's very cautious. She's very, very cautious. She likes new things. She really does, but she's always very, very, very suspicious. So, oh, looks like my other video that I
Good
just
morning, everybody. It's
did on 3GS is all done and published and working, and now I need to switch over. I need to switch over to my say hello. I'll tell you, if there's one word in the English language, which there's way more than one, but if there's one word that is just so insanely incomplete, it so does not capture at all what it is. It's the word language. I mean, just the saying hello in a different language is just so like, well, hello kind of means something different, and then they kind of reverse things, and blah blah blah. And like I was really surprised to find out the other day that um, the when you say hello, um, that what happened. I mean that some versions of American hello, so like um, a very common thing that people might say instead of the word hello might be, "Oh, hey, how are you? How are you?" Right? How are you might be what they say. If you take that into any other language and you do a direct translation, it's weird. Like, how are you is more like it just doesn't do a direct translation to hello, right? Like if they have like a word in a different language like hola, but hola has buenos dias, which transfers to good day in English, and then but like bueno may translate to something in some other language that's more like um, like happy or something like that. And day, like just the way the very structure of language is so creative and different in all the different languages that it's kind of weird. So let me cd into my account, say hello into my thing, and then npm start. I do enjoy this project a lot because it's just like fascinating to me. Language has always been fascinating to me. If I like, let's say I'd been born in a family where like trying to earn money wouldn't be a sort of a wouldn't have been a part of my life, right? There's a lot of people, not like percentage wise, not a lot, but in actual numbers, there's a ton of people that are born and like trying to get money is not part of their existence. Like they have some big stash of money somewhere for whatever reason, and that's just not part of it. If that had been me, I probably would have gone to school for probably I would have gone to school for economics, and then I probably would have then gone to school for linguistics, or maybe the vice versa. But I find that to be very interesting, linguistics to be extremely interesting, which makes a lot of sense because it is very um, um, like the way the the whole computer programming industry, process, the process of programming computers is very language heavy, right? So, anyways, we need to set up. Apparently, we need to set up a service to interact with to start and publish the microphone. So, like, it's kind of weird because when okay, voice, my favorite web page in the world at the moment is this one. It's an application I built, and the way that there's kind of like two, it's kind of weird, right? So when you go to Angular Voice API, if you start thinking about that, it immediately divides into two halves. There's the recognition half, and then there's the um, speaking half. We are not doing anything with speaking. We're only doing recognition. Now, once you go into recognition, then there's two halves, and there's the um, discrete half, and there's a continuous half. So continuous is a lot like Alexis or something like that, right? Where it's just always listening, and It's it responds as you do it. Whereas the other one is more like a voice recorder where you push a button, you say something, and then you lift up the button when you're done talking. So that's kind of more like discrete. It's not exactly, that's not a perfect analogy, but it's pretty close. So this say hello is when I built out this voice analyzer, I wanted to build out two applications, one that was going to be using discrete and one that was using continuous. And I finally thought of a really good discrete one, and that was like where you would have a button and you would say hello, and then it would tell you if it recognized that you said hello or not. So I thought that'd be perfect because you decide you want to say hello in Spanish, you push the button, and you say hello in Spanish, right? So that's that. Now for this application it's all, the truth is in the URL. So we know that EN is our language and at US is our region. And this application, as far as I know, will have two services. Now, if this was all I was working on, if like literally we were in an organization and we were just trying to roll something out for whatever reason, some kind of small say hello application, I wouldn't have two separate services. I would have one service that handles everything because really we have two services. One is for routing and one is for voice. And I think last week we kind of came to the conclusion that routing and voice could actually use each other, but we can't, but Angular won't allow that. You can't have two for root services injecting each other. And there's nothing really wrong with that concept. The concept, it's conceptually fine, right? Like it makes total sense that one object could use the other object and the other object could use that object. But the thing is the way Angular's done it, they did a really good job of setting up a system where it just really, like when you go to serve, create an injector, when you use the injector to put it into the injection service, when you put a service into the injection service, then it creates a tree, and that tree um, has everything available everywhere. It's really simple. It's like something that would probably take thousands and thousands of lines of code that they have like diluted into like something that works literally perfectly 99 out of 100 times, maybe even 999 out of 1,000 times. But there are some situations where it is very, very difficult to accomplish what you want to accomplish if you have if the dependency is going to have a runtime exception like that. And in those cases, you kind of want to work another way. This is not one of those cases. There's really no reason that these should be in two different services. Not really. Um, but I do want that. So we have our routing service, and our routing service is all it knows how to do is read the router and spit out the language and the region. It used to also spit out the locale, but now we have our voice service, and that listens to the language and then it creates a locale, and then this one spits out the locale. Now, would the router ever need to know the locale? Actually, now that I think about it, no. But if the router ever did need to know what the locale was, then the routing service, then I would have to inject the routing service in here. But see, I would have to inject the voice service into the routing service. But right now, I'm just injecting the routing service into the voice service, and that's what we're doing here. So now our voice service, the first thing it needs to do is, I think, so that's done. So let me hit the read, go back to my README. Kind of want to close this one. All right. Now let's see what's going on in our app service. So our app service, we were able to inject both, which I wasn't sure if we could inject both of these into this class, because I think when you do this injection, I don't know. Okay, so we have our I wonder what happens if you try to inject the voice service before the routing service. I don't even know. Maybe we did this last week too. For me, weeks like last week feels like a million years ago. Okay, so it didn't care. It was fine. It doesn't care how we do it. Which kind of surprises me. It seems like it would do that. And I don't think we want this read-only title. And then this was a known false positive. I really hate that. Um, all right. So anyways, over here we have our voice service. So we want, and I think it's already listening. Yeah. So like if we were to look in this app.html, you'll see that we have our voice service, routing service, routing service. And with the signals, it's really good. It saves you a lot of heartache to just put them straight into the template, which I would say when we were like Angular 10 and 11, that was frowned upon. Like accessing the service directly from a template was considered bad form, I think. Not 100%. I wouldn't swear to that, but I think it was. And then, but today, I think it's absolutely expected. And a lot of your something changed before, all those sorts of console errors just don't happen when you do it this way. But if you try to take something into the TS and then do some processing and then put it into the template, you sometimes will run into that issue. I don't really have a good grip on that issue at this point. All right, so let's go back to our README. So it looks like that is done, but we need to be able to create a button that will kick off the that will create a recognition object. And then that recognition object will create the server. We'll be able to listen, and it will turn on the microphone and be able to listen. I can't figure out if I want to. I think what I want to do probably is set a single voice, a recognition object at the top of here. So these things here are called attributes, and they are service level attributes. So in my voice service, I have this. And so I want a service level attribute that is my recognition object, but I don't remember exactly how to do that. So what I do need to do is probably go into GitHub. There's probably a lot of ways to do this. Actually, I know there's a bunch of ways to do this, but we want our. I think what we want to do is go into our flashcards. I think the flashcards is probably one of the best examples we have. It's not a perfect example, but it's a good example. And we actually have a foundation page that has just the basic implementation. And in here we have a flashcard builder. And then if I remember correctly, we do have a service that's specifically for listening for changes. Voice recognition service. So we're going to come in here and I guess we need to do this. I did create my own voice state enums. All right, let's go look at that and see if that's worth creating. Replicating, I guess we'll be replicating it. Okay, so I guess that's in types, enums, voice recognition enums. Okay, on, off, and waiting. On, off, and waiting. Are those the same? So this is for when you turn on that. Can I copy the whole thing? What does blame do? Interesting. So blame just kind of shows you who contributed and what that is. And it probably looks a little better on full size. Oh yeah, here's our copy. We're going to copy the raw file. I like that. I think voice enums is probably pretty smart. Now, actually, even smarter is probably, now that I think about it, I'm just sort of, I'm not going to lie, I'm sort of freaking jumping around. Like, this is like something that's new, having like multiple things. But VS enums. So I like that. I like that a lot. I like that we have it captured, and I like that we can use it now. And so I'm going to go to my package over here, and I'm going to create this for my voice enums. Get rid of that. And then I'm going to say, and I'm going to go into my UI, say hello UI. What time is it? It's almost 2 o'clock. I got to get rolling. npm run vs enums. And so now I'll create a brand new folder called enums. And then I will go in here. And then I'm going to go back up to here and go to my source app types enums and copy this and then Control A, Control V, save. Now we have that. So now we're going to go back to where we were at. Source and app. I thought it was services there, but services, voice recognition service. And this is one of the very first things we do is we pull this in here. So we need that. I think we already have all of these things, but let's go ahead and do this. And I guess we'll put it right there. All right. Now, I don't know why that didn't work because, oh, I don't have a types. That's weird. I wonder why. I must have changed that afterwards. I don't know if I need a types. For now, we'll do that. All right. So that's our first thing. And now we need to declare these two variables. This is very unusual. I don't really quite understand exactly why we have to declare these variables up top like this. And not only that, but I do have some anxiety that this is going to be a like something that quits working when we do an upgrade here in the future, because that is weird and awkward. But private recognition. So we're going to create an any. So the reason is that you have to create any is because the specs are not done. And the specs haven't been done for a long time, and I don't know that they'll ever be done. But the specs aren't done, so that means we are not going to have a good um, a good set of types to use for that. Okay, so recognition on. I don't think I have. Oh, I guess this is part of our enum. Recognition continuous equal. What is recognition on? Do we even use this? Oh. So apparently I do like, oh, I see. So this is for our voice recognition. So, okay, so I'm going to do this. I don't know. I'm going to definitely put a little bit more thought into this before we go with it, but let's do this. Recognition is false. And now voice recognition state. I think that makes a lot of sense. So this is literally just telling the system, hey, right now the microphone is not turned on. And I think I should put like a comma, microphone is off by default. I hope it's off by default. I hope it's, well, it's actually listening right now because I have it on for my OBS, but a lot of people think that, so this is our voice recognition result. So we definitely will want that. So this is like whatever we got back, but I don't think, but I think we want a string of arrays, but this gets so much harder because that means that we are going to have, it's going to be a little bit harder to keep track of it's going to be a little harder to keep track of, to force an update on the um, voice. So we really will want some kind of, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Yeah, so we're going to have to come up with some way to just wipe out the whole array and create a brand new array from scratch, which is not that big of a deal, but it is a little nicer when it's just a primitive and a string is just a primitive. So transcript signal. Okay, so this is our whole. Okay, so actually, you know what? I do like how I did that. Changed my mind. I like this. All right, so this is I think this will be like the first result, and then all of the results. Now, what's weird about this is that, okay, so there is the edge case that we will like like if we say hello and then we say hello again, that it thinks it's the same thing. I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to figure that out when we get there. Okay, so now in our constructor, do we have a constructor? Yes, we have a constructor, and we set up all of our signals. And over here, I think we do. Okay, so we are not listening for any effects. So I don't know if it matters whether the constructor signals come out first, but the way this is, we probably should actually call a function that just says like setup. Setup recognition. This dot setup recognition. So that's a function, and I don't even think we need to pass it anything, but we do need to create it. So this thing's going to be called setup recognition. And I'm just going to make it, since I'm not doing unit tests, I'm just going to make it a void. It doesn't return anything. If we were doing unit tests, I would definitely have it return at least a Boolean. And then basically we want to do all this stuff, I think. And we'll go line by line over what all of these things do. I actually do want this console log. Control V. All right. So now let's go step by step, line by line through this stuff. Let's see, do I need to tab this thing out? Tab it out. Okay, so we're going to tab and tab. Let's see how it looks up top. Looks good up top. It's a little goofy here at the bottom. And boom, 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 boom. Let's go back to my room. Oh, no, I think it was actually right. No, it was one. Just one. Van. There we go. I think that's right. All right. So let's go line by line. So this is saying, all right, so we're going to check to see if the speak recognition is in the window. So they're saying if this property is inside of window, then do this. And then set up the speak recognition. Oh, wait a second. There we go. Is that right? Probably one more back. All right, so if speech recognition, which it never is. So speak recognition is I've never seen this. Never seen this. And it wouldn't even surprise me if when it does finally exist, this code doesn't work anymore because I doubt they'll just change that. They're probably going to change a lot more. But we have a WebKit speech recognition, so this is how it usually is. Always seen it. All right. So then we set. So this is false. I don't know. I don't know if we have to set this to false, but we want discrete, not continuous. And I think it's by default false, but this is something that I've always bashed heads with other developers. If something is defaulted, I like to set it, even though it was already the default value, because sometimes that default changes. Definitely seen that tons of times. So if you've set it, if you're assuming the default is false and all that, now it can get unwieldy. Sometimes things will have thousands of defaults of attributes, so you can't. It's just not reasonable to set them all. All right, so voice state signal. So if it's started, then it's on. So these are what's called hooks. I think they're called hooks or event hooks, I think is what they're called, or event handlers. So there's an audio start handler. It's not very well documented, in my opinion. And well documented purely opinion. I mean, like you can find it. It's definitely out there, and it's explained very well, but it is like not confident. Okay, so this one is saying that on audio end, that handler should then signal that it's off, which is exactly right. So that's consistent between continuous and discrete. And now if there's an error, then we're going to do this. So I believe the error is what would happen if they click the button and they turn it down. And then this is the result. And so when the result happens, we create a brand new result array. Okay, so that makes sense. I think this will all still work. And then tab, if the array is greater than 0, we're going to create a brand new array and we're going to put that out there. Now I'm wondering if I want to handle like the comparison. Maybe I want to handle the comparison here. I don't know. But I'm not going to worry about it at the moment. Okay, so this is everything that happens on the results. Apparently we use the transcripts array from event results. Okay, yeah, and we use this event results to create this results array, and then we create something called transcripts, which we map out of that. I'm not sure exactly if this is how this is going to work right, but it seems like it should work right. All right, so this sets that up, and that's good. And let's just make sure everything works. We don't have any weird errors because it does get called now. All right, like we should at least double check that. Oh no, here it is, speech grammar. So we are, in fact, as you can see, we have events. We do not have like an event for on end or on no match, on sounded, on sound start, on speech end. Like most of these we're not using. We might end up using them, but at this point, this phrases is a new thing that just showed up. So I never do. I think that process locally true has never done anything for me in the past. Grammars has never really done anything for me in the past. So max alternative is 1. That continuous is in fact false. So if we were to remove it, but yeah, so we're not setting everything. Like we're not setting process locally. It is very possible at some point process locally could end up being defaulted to true, and then I'll be like, and it might do something, and then I'll be like, oh, my application's broken. Oh no, run for the hills. All right, so over here, it looks like we also did a good job of creating a stop and start record. And I think this looks like it's just a perfect lift and shift situation. So we're going to lift and shift this over. Okay, so now we've created a start and a stop function. And everybody seems to be happy. All right, so now did our README, have we taken care of this one? Set up a service. I feel like we don't. Okay, set up a start button. Okay, so I guess it helps. I'm going to use an emoticon. Done. Check. A green checkbox. That's nice. Set up button to start. All right. So now I want to create set up some text to listen and set up an input to allow the user to add a word to listen for. I don't know what set up some text to listen meant. Oh, I think that meant a string. Set up a default string to listen for. So, i.e. hello. And I guess we probably also want to do, what is the name of this? Yeah, 5. We might as well add 5 in there. Set up a happy match icon and a sad miss icon. So that will do that. So basically the idea is that we'll have a button and it'll turn on that. And I'll probably set that up here before we're done. And then it'll listen and it'll turn itself off once it's heard something. But it won't do anything, and then we'll probably do the next thing. But let's go ahead and set up a button for now. And it's just going to be a basic button. It definitely won't be the button we end up using. I will say that like it is so tempting to just never use Angular material and stuff, but holy cow, do a lot of, and it is such a pain in the ass. I mean, there's no denying that it's a real pain in the buttocks to use Angular material, but boy, do you end up appreciating it. Angular material is definitely your frenemy. I mean, because first of all, if nothing else, it's very, very, it looks really nice. So when you show it to your friends and stuff, they're always very impressed. So start mic. And then we're going to add a click handler. Click, which is very unique to Angular. I don't think you do it this way anywhere else. Maybe you do, but I don't know. And then click start recording. No, turn on start mic. Bro phone. All right, and there's really nothing to I can't remember what I was going to say. All right, so app TS. So we want to create a function called start microphone. Oh, there's nothing to pass into it. That's what I was going to say. Microphone. Void. Again, this is another one that like everything in me is saying, hey, return a boolean so we can easily unit test this. But I'm just going to do alert. Start the mic. Start the mic, bro. Check. There we go. So that worked. So we do have our voice recorder, right? So let's try that. This .sh voice service dot start record. And I don't think you have to do anything else after that. I think it'll just start, and then we need to listen to signals. There we go. Allow this time. Hello. 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 So let's go F12. Woo, woo, woo. Maybe it didn't get a result. So on audio and okay, so did we have any console logs? I guess we should add some console logs in there just to make sure stuff works. Console dot. Oh, I don't even think we actually we don't even need a stop record because it stops on its own. So that is not needed. Okay, console log. Log start. Start requested. I love you too. Start requested. And this recognition. Oh wait. Why am I service? Yeah, I'm in the service. Oh, and I got to go find the started. On start. On end. On error. And getting this stuff worked out ahead of time, like just making sure this is our result, is so important. And we only get one result back in this situation. In our other, the one I work on tomorrow, the flashcards one, we continually get results back until we turn it off. And then F12, and starting 1, 2, 3. Here we go. We got our result back. We got our, that's so wild, the target results. And then we got this thing here, and then we got this thing starting 1. Wow, that's so wild. It put a semicolon right there. Hello, how are you? Let's see. Results. Speech recognition. So that one worked. Now let's just double check that it works in IE. Now we will definitely have different results in IE than we in Edge IE. Man, Lord, I just really dated myself there. Good afternoon. Wow, that's crazy. I don't even know what that's about. America's Funniest Home Videos. All right. F12. That guy down here. Welcome to Edge DevTools. So that's kind of nice. It's a little nice welcome thing. And it's still there, so I can go back and look at it in the future. Hello, how are you? That is wild. On error event. So we actually it did not work in. We never got a result back. Oh, I never even asked. Hello, how are you? Wow. So we're getting a network error. I don't even know what that is. Okay, so does it tell me? I've never seen this before. And unfortunately, it just says event network, which typically means I'm not online, but I'm definitely online. Yeah, it's broken. Does my other one work? Discrete. Hello, how are you? Hello, hello, hello. Oh, it's not working. So this used to work. This one definitely used to work. Hello, how are you? Hi. So I'm guessing that something is broken in see, we have 3 records, but they're all errors, I'm guessing. We're getting errors. So it's not working at all in none of this is working in IE right now. Hello, how are you? All right. So I've never had that issue before, and that was sort of the whole point of voice of discrete was that I would be able to test things. Um, testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Let's see, we have our result here. So voice is broken on IE, which is kind of a bummer because I was hoping, because I kind of like I would rather use IE for my other application, but for some reason, hello, how are you? All right, so let's go ahead and ask ChatGPT if it knows anything. So I'm building a voice recognition application application, and it suddenly stopped working on IE on Edge, but it still works in Chrome. This is a JavaScript browser app. Isn't random work group, but breaks and edge almost always few specific, especially with voice. Here's 0. Oh no, it worked until last. No, I know it worked last week. And have not been changes to the code. Disable Edge updates quietly. So regress multiple times means that they roll it out, it's broken, and they don't figure out till later that they broke it. Um, uh, I get one error. I do get errors. I am getting error. Back. One word, and it is network. network. Not allowed. Okay, so gesture, invalid state, missing API. This is almost broad can reach the the speech recognition service. And I do want to make that clear about this application. Like when you build a lot of front end applications, like literally all it needs is the browser to work. But this specific thing definitely needs a backups, a cloud service to support it. It can't do voice recognition locally. I don't know why. My lovely wife bought me a Red Bull for this morning, which was awesome. I just love that watermelon. Um, well, Google Chrome, not guaranteed to have access to that. That sometimes loses it after. So sometimes just loses it. So you're at absolute risk. This I don't think that if I was like a director of an organization, I would not try to use this technology. Now, if I was like in the military or something like that, and we had the resources to build our own local speech analyzer, which they probably do, and it could process locally, then I would probably do that. This is the number. Okay. Um, okay. Yeah, I don't think that. Edge privacy settings changed. Okay. Even subtle issues can cause Chrome works. Okay, so okay, yeah, that actually would. Well, see, it's not. Okay, is this Edge? No, this is DevTools. Let's go back to Edge and just look at the network. That's actually a very good idea. Actually, it's still working. So anyway, so it's still listening right now. It looks like because the stop hasn't stopped. Um, let's see. Let's reload. Hello, how are you? Oh, am I not? Oh, I'm looking at the console, not the network. I got a nice clean console. Yeah, so continuous main chunk. Okay, I'm only looking. Oh, I don't know. That's not really helping. So this is the first time that's happened to me, where it just quit working. Hello, how are you? Okay, so this is not happening on the network tab. I think what happens is it shows up on, there's like another, um, like a web, um, I can't even remember what it's called. It's underneath like it's another communication scheme that it doesn't use this because, and it doesn't have like cookies and stuff like that. Network conditions. Yeah, I don't know. Network. Do I have anything filtered off? No, I have all. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening. It's weird. Let's try this. Discrete. Hello, how are you? What is going on? Continuous. What is this? Okay, so this is just the call for the actual application. Um, like I like email.com voice continuous. Oh, that's weird because we're on discrete. So that's very strange. Let's hit reload and see what happens. Okay, so now it says discrete. Hello, how are you? Oh, it started working. Hello, how are you? 12. Ah, it looks like No, we still have our error over here though. Hello. Yeah, so we still didn't, but this one does. F12. The problem is I don't have any console logs over here. Hello. Hello, how are you? Oh, so it looks like it's being flaky now. Hello, how are you? What's going on? Yeah. So I try I one time with my voice analyzer. Oh, you know what? I have. Oh my gosh, I can't believe. Oh, so I'm not even getting any logs. Oh, I do have a log. All right, so let's check this out. Reload. Hello, how are you? See, it's still on. So we go here, we have our logs. There's usually a green one with the result. There we go. Network error, and that's literally all we get. All right. So value and target. All right. A voice analyzer. Is there built? And it worked one time. With Chrome, with Edge, it stopped working. Again. So flaky backend connection, your code. Chrome always works. Edge is in this pattern. Sorry, so Edge is not reliably connected to the speech recognition. With Microsoft Edge, the API is kind of a second class SSN. Edge temporarily allowed a connection to the backend, probably Google service. Your request subset got blocked, failed handshake. See, I suspect this is probably at not the browser issue. I'm curious, and I hate talking about anything with ChatGPT that I don't like. Isn't like once you start trying to be creative and think of stuff, it really just tries to smush any creativity. Um, but it's like an issue at the cloud service for MS. Not a browser issue. Yeah. Okay, so it doesn't think so. It's almost certainly not a Microsoft Cloud outage, but a browser level integration issue in Microsoft Edge. So it thinks it's in Edge. Other app services breaking too. Well, so they're thinking that it never got to there. Okay, so I don't understand why it made that up. Okay, I did not say I don't know why I never said the first. Okay, I did not say the first call worked. Uh, like I probably made between 20 and 100 calls. One of them code, yeah, but it's not. I don't think it's a bug because I'm pretty sure it's not a bug. Bug because I finished the voice analyzer application in 2025. This is the first time broken. Okay, this is where it really, what part of pretty sure? I just don't understand. Did you not understand? It's so annoying. I don't understand. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't understand that. Why it said, oh, then you didn't. Like I'm pushing back that it's not a bug. It's just like because we can't be sure it wasn't a bug. Yeah, that's why I said pretty sure. I don't understand. I just don't understand why ChatGPT started changing what you say. It takes what you say, it changes it, and then it criticizes you for saying what you didn't say. Uh, no assumption. Worked for a long time now. Actually, mostly network case. Yes, something outside of your app, but don't which layer. The two realistic possibilities: no overreach, environmental change, your machine network. Yeah, so that is very possible that something in there has changed. Um, Very unlikely, though. Very, very, very unlikely. Um, so on it clearly, one decisive to run edge on a different worker. Okay, I think I can do that. Let's change the network. My wife has a account too, so I am on my current AT&T network. And I'm going to switch over to my wife's network. I hope the password's already in there. I think it is. Okay. Okay, so I switched networks. Now let's try it again. This could be interesting. Hello, how are you? Oh my gosh. Oh wait, no, that's Chrome. So that one proved nothing. That didn't prove a darn thing. Okay, well, actually, it proved it still works in Chrome. Discrete. Hello, how are you? Yeah, so I'm going to change back to my AT&T one so I don't abuse my wife's network. But okay, so yeah, in private. Okay, so yeah, so I changed. Yeah, I changed networks. All right. I mean, we can't necessarily, but it could be. Yeah, I think it's just that at this point. Uh, uh, in a private window. Okay, how do you do that? Open Edge in a private window. I don't even know how you do that. You open Edge window question mark. Control Shift N. All right. All right now. Wow, that's kind of crazy. And now we want to go to my voice thing. And so, hello, how are you? All right, still broken in a private. Okay, so still broken. Okay, so yeah, it's a private window. And this was actually the whole reason I built the this entire thing. Okay, so let's see, is there anything new in here? No. Yep. And then so nothing changed in that. Yeah, I agree. I think that this is just broken, and I guess that's why they all this the bleeding edge. I'm glad this is not something that I am trying to support. Anyone is paying me. Yeah. So this is like this is like why you shouldn't try to use like things like this for like an actual enterprise. Unless you can so okay, so would this issue be mitigated with local processing? Very curious about this. But with some trade-offs. Okay, browser external. Instead of sending audio, you'll rely on the browser managed backend routing. So yeah, so that would help. I would imagine they really use this heavily in the military. That would be my guess. Yeah. Model Loto Street. Yeah, I don't even know how to do any of this crap. So Whisper CPP, Velosk, engineering work, heavier client side load, fallback if needed. Okay, so would you say that any organization that wants to actually build these kinds of applications should use local processing? I don't even know. I really don't know. But this is a great time to ask this kind of question. A lot of them. Okay, does anyone use this? Okay. Technology outside of hobbyists. I just don't know. I don't know. But very few productions rely on the browser's built-in. What you're running into, what you used in your voice analyzer is mostly a prototyping layer, not an enterprise layer. Absolutely. It's just prototype, just fun. Um, well, yeah, but wait, no, I'm not talking about voice in general. I'm asking about the browser API. Ah, yeah, so that's much sharper. You mean specifically the browser web speech API? Yeah, that's what I thought. I totally thought that. Now, obviously, it's heavily used. Voice is heavily used. I mean, like every one of us deals with, like, there's just tons and tons of voice operated applications. Internal proof concepts, lightweight accessibility features, enterprise medical call center. Yeah, I can't even imagine. Yeah, anything with this SLA. Um, this is exactly why serious systems avoid it. Yeah, an infrastructure close to best effort browser feature may or may not work. Okay, what Azure? So, yeah, so I think even with your browser, you could point it at Azure or whatever, or maybe you could have like a local server that pushes it Whisper based on. It's not part of most real pot. Yeah, I agree with this. I mean, this is kind of statement that like could hurt my feelings, but it's so true. Whether it hurts my feelings or not, it's absolutely true. Sorry, it's mostly because it's easy, it requires zero, it's good enough for demos. What you ran into, it's expected behavior with this layer. Yeah, I agree. So yeah, so this was a very, very important video. This is probably a video that I will refer to in the future because like it is so hard to explain this sort of problem. Hello, how are you? Like nobody will believe it. They just won't believe that you're saying that um they just won't believe that you're saying that hey, sometimes this happens and it's not a code issue, it's not a local issue. It's just the browser is broken. Um and not only that, but at this point in time, if I was actually working for someone and we were like supporting this kind of thing, um like I can't even be sure um it'll start working again. Do you think we'll start working again for Edge in the future? It might come back partially. You should not plan on it coming back. Oh, yeah, I know. I realize it's not reliable. It is not reliable for professional use. But um, is this just a bump in the road? or MS giving up on this technology, on this browser technology. Yeah, that's what I think. In a messy underspecified feature area, then I'm actually giving. Okay, so I would have thought that they would probably announce somewhere that they were giving up on it if they were giving up. Um, okay. Microsoft Edge is actively maintained. Okay, thank you. But speech recognition in the browser is not a stable standardized. So it is effectively. See, the problem is that I'm pretty sure it costs money, like for this to actually get this is actually it's not free. Um, and I'm guessing that they're probably struggling with figuring out like if actually collecting what you can from a voice through a browser is worthwhile. I will say that it's probably a pretty good sign that um, Edge isn't secretly recording you because, like if it was secretly recording everybody and all this data just quit coming in, I'm pretty sure someone would notice. So I think that's a good sign. But anyways, happy coding everybody. Have a wonderful day. Bye.